What's up with it? I'm Polo of World War Polo Entertainment Group, and I'm on Digital Discourse. Tap in or tap out.
Welcome to Digital Discourse. Welcome to Digital Discourse. Yeah.
All right, back with another episode. Today we have DC's top filmmaker, World War Polo himself. How you doing today, man?
Man, I appreciate being in the building. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Heard a lot about you. It's gonna be a dope interview.
Yeah, appreciate you for coming through, for sure. To start off, I am curious, where does the name come from, World War Polo?
All right, so polo, cause um, I went through a period in my life where everything I wore was polo, and it went from the bed to the real. So it was like polo. You feel me? And the World War part came from that I'm waging war in my own way, right? Film is a powerful tool. A lot of us don't know the gifts that we have and everything. So World War Polo is I'm going to war with the world. So and like one of my slogans, I'll be like, it's world war till it's world peace. You know what I'm saying? And so like I'm trying to build my community up. You know what I'm saying? I want to try to be like the best role model for far as males and with the black youth and things of that nature. So that's like my personal like war that I'm going through, and I feel like if if I can do that, then I can help change the world, starting right here.
Yeah, I love that. That's pretty dope, honestly. And I actually have a question centered around that. Before we get to that, though, I do want you to give us a little bit of your background, though.
All right,
You can go back as far as you want. Young Polo, teenage Polo, whatever.
all right. So I'm from Northeast DC. I went to Smothers, Kelly Miller, and H.D. Woodson. So I'm a real resident from in Washington D.C. I came up a little after the crack era, a little bit as far as that part. I was actual a student of Murray Berry's program that helped kind of slow me down for a little part of time. So I think that right there kind of stuck with me, and that be somewhat how I move today based on just knowing what them couple of little dollars did for me. I've been in the streets real heavy for a nice period of my life, so I understand how that works. And because of that part of my life, I have a credibility that's worth talking about because I feel like, in so many words, I'm the epitome of what change looked like. Um, and so I guess that's my life right there. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I was on that side of the map. Now I'm on this side. You feel me?
Okay.
It's not been easy, but you know,
It's a process.
facts.
And what would you say caused that mental shift? Like you was just talking about how you want to change lives and wake up the community and, World War before peace, but you was thinking about yourself for a long period of time, but now you done broadened your perspective.
Um, when I was younger, I really helped tear this place up. You know what I mean? Times was different and surviving was different. And some of the things that's glorified today that we had to do back then, but we didn't do it for the glorification. We did it really for surviving. And just like Jordans was made popular in the 90s, a lot of our actions was made popular too. And a lot of the younger people today is doing what they feel or feel is right based on the generation that came before them, which is us. So I feel like I got to a certain part in life where I don't know, I just feel like I needed to change for the better. I think everybody reached that part actually if you get to live long enough. Malcolm X did it. He was a pimp, a hustler, a robber, and then he got to the point where he recognized that all that's was wrong, and then comes a change. It's just a lot of times we just got to live long enough to actually experience the to want to change. You know what I mean? And God allowed that to happen to me, and so I feel like part of with my life, to give it the most meaning, I have to not just change for me, but I have to be an instruction manual or example for the people who want to come out of that kind of mindset. Like, if he could do it based on some of the things that we have heard that he done, then why can't I do it, or how can I do it? And even more important, if you see that this is where I'm at now, then why even go down that road at all? Just don't even move that way. It's a waste of time because it's a dead end. You feel me? You could take your time, use it more wisely. And then the other thing is like I feel like that I want to also be like a role model to younger people, like me just chasing my dream, right? Because I think that we think if you get a certain age, then that life don't have meaning no more. And if you see somebody that is of a more ripe age, more mature age, somebody that you might even deem as old, that's still getting to chasing their dreams and being relentless in that approach, then it makes it a little bit more motivating for the younger people who has a lot more energy and aspiration and desire to want to chase their dreams. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Now that makes sense. Good answer. Outside of time though, was there like any like actual thing you can point back to when you was like that made you start thinking different? Like Malcolm X, I think once he went to jail or whatever, I think that's when I can't really remember. I'm going off the Denzel movie.
It was never really something that it just kind of happened. Like, I stopped being in the streets and being a little less in the streets, but not really doing the complete right thing. And I had got into a conversation with one of my buddies, and because at first I wanted to write books. And I was like, I'm going to write books, but I don't see that the people that I want to reach actually read books.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, how about I read a rack of books, and then I just put it like in a movie, and then just let people see my opinion based on the things I read. And when I did that, one of my buddies or whatever, they had kind of made it like a joke, like, "Oh, you gonna be a movie producer now?" Like, you feel what I'm saying? And they kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, "Why? Oh, you don't think I could be a movie producer?" It's like, man, and so I'm like one of them people that once you tell me I can't do something, then that's all I need to hear. Because like now I gotta prove to you and to myself and to everybody else that statement don't match me. You feel what I'm saying? So it wasn't really like I want to change the world kind of ideology, like one day from good to bad. But in the process of working and putting the movies together, I seen a lot of younger dudes that was in the street flocking to me. And then I started saying like that when I'm talking to them, they actually listen. Sometimes they even call me for a pen, and it's like I never really felt like a big brother to a lot of younger dudes like that. But then I started looking at how they look at me different based on my choice of me wanting to do what I'm doing. And it was probably something like that made me wanted to keep going. But it wasn't like a decision that I made. It just kind of got sprung on me. Like, a lot of young dudes took a liking to me, and then it was more like, nah, if y'all gonna do it, then just do it this way. Don't do it that way. So it was, you know what I mean? And then I just got in a rhythm of that mindset, and then started building on it, I guess.
Okay. Okay, then going back to the part when you was talking about how powerful film is. Of course, if you use it in the right way, you can change a whole person's way of thinking.
Facts.
I'm curious, the way you speak about, your purpose for doing it and how you trying to change the minds of people.
Facts.
How do you go about the balance? Like, your movies, like for example, the New Balance Boys is coming out. You know, it's showing street life.
Right.
So how do you go about like keeping authenticity and showing what's really happening, but also not trying to glorify it?
See, so and I feel like a good movie is like reading a good book, right? So in a book, when you read it, you have options of how you want to interpret the book, right? If a person write the book good, they don't just write it with their own opinion. They give a way of you being able to, if you want to be on the bad guy side or you want to be on the lady side, if you want to, so the stories get written all like that. I looked at for example, Scarface in the 80s, right? How powerful that movie was to a lot of us to this day. We still have that Scarface mentality, right? We want, the world is ours, the drug thing, all this and all that, right? And I think that's what gave me the incentive to want to put movies together the way I do. So like in the movie, it's gonna be a lot of destructive behavior, because that's the entertaining part. That's the part that you can, you can align yourself with a certain kind of understanding. Like in your reality, you see some of these things, right? And then you might have a person that, is more inclined to that. And then you might have a person that's not as inclined to that. And so my way of trying to get people to see the alternatives of the right and wrong is to send one person on this mission in a movie and send one person in that direction. And then see in the end when they meet up, which one better fits you. So if you're watching a movie from this way, you're going to, it's the bad guy. But if you're watching it from this way, so the more you watch the movie, you can watch it more than one time, because it's going to have alternate stories that's taking place.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got a neutral person. A lot of us like to play that and see where that, my interpretation of where that gets you. And then you'll have somebody that's full-fledged going hard, and then maybe somebody that backtrack and maybe is not as into the decision that they decided at first, and like, I don't know if this is for me. And what that looks like, because a lot of times, I like to tell dudes that it's all kinds of suckers out here, right? You got the kind that go hard but don't really want to go hard. Like if your man tell you let's go on a move and you don't really want to do it still make you a sucker, even though you did it. So being able to try to train the minds of the young people to teach them how to think, not just what to think, but how to think. Like we always say, do what's right, but right comes in a lot of different kinds, shape, forms, and fashions. So more or less teaching, because like if you got two hard, decisions, like which one is the right way? You feel me? Between two wrong answers, which one is the right one, right? So it's more important about teaching people how to think more or less than what to think. And so that's what I be, when I write in the movies, that'd be like the kind of concepts that I want, that I try to come up with. Like giving alternate, like write it this way and then write it that way, and then trying to merge the two.
Okay, so you just kind of just providing a bunch of perspectives and everybody go where they go.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
All right, so since we right there on that, let me ask you this. Do you look at yourself as being like an activist? Or are you just somebody that's from the streets trying to teach
I definitely
the street
see
perspective?
myself as an activist and a philanthropist, because everything that I say, I actually stand for. Like you gonna really see me, like not just writing the movies, but like I'm gonna be in real life moving in a certain kind of way. Like, and I think that's what gives my movie the power that it has. That you can see that I'm not sitting here saying one thing, doing another. For the most part, I am human, but for the most part, my actions and my word match.
Okay. So, excuse me. So with that, I want to go back to what you were saying about the whole little sucker thing. So I want to give you an example, and you tell me how somebody should, act in that situation. So like you said, let's say somebody be like, hey, let's go on a move. and the dude be like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But he trying to look cool to his guys or whatever. But he trying to remain, you know what I'm saying, valid, or he trying to remain like he not no sucker or nothing like that. So what do you think should happen in that situation?
I think that being a man, right, is making a decision and sticking to it. And to me, that's what make you a gangster. Like, the same way that if I tell you I'm gonna rob you when I see you, right, and then I see you and I rob you, and yet you say that's standing on business. All right, the same way if I say I ain't with that, and then y'all go on a move, and I'm like, it don't make me no different. I ain't with that. That's still standing on business.
Right.
There's no difference. And like, and until you a person that that's valid to you, explain it that way to you, then you feel like maybe I'm no, because a man, you know that feeling that you feel when you getting dragged into something you don't want to do. Yeah, that's what you call being a B.A. nigga. Right? To me, going hard ain't just when somebody on a move, right? Going hard is when you tell somebody what it is and you stand on it. Like, I'm not like, bro, I don't feel like no. Listen, go do it, right? And then bring me the money back. You see how stupid that sounds? I don't want them. I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's the other thing. If you making those kind of decisions too much around me, I'm going to take myself out the picture. Because you're not going to keep, you're not going to have me feeling like I have to do certain things I don't want to do. It's like, no, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? It's like would you let somebody make you go on a trip out of town with your rent money?
Nah.
I mean, go ahead. Was you about to say something?
See what I'm saying?
Ain't no depends. It's nah.
No. I ain't even say depends. I ain't say
I
depends.
don't know if I get my check Wednesday, I might go though. You hear me? But I'm just saying, like, when I think that part of being a man, I think that we gotta learn how to be a man, and okay, this is what I feel like. I feel like that in order to be a good leader, you gotta first be a good follower.
Okay.
That means you gotta know who to follow.
Right.
So that you can learn how to be a leader. And a lot of time choosing who to follow is the first level of being a great leader. Like, no, I'm going to be around the person that might not be the coolest. You feel what I'm saying? Might not do things the conventional right way. But I'm already in a mindset, if I can determine the difference that he's cool and I've already kind of excelled the limit of whatever relationship we got. And more like graduating to the next level is more important. Like, if a person got you out here doing something you don't want to do, that's not gangster. I don't care if you out here doing everything and everybody out here scared of you. You know who the first person scared of you? You. You scared of you because you don't make good decisions. And you know you don't make good decisions. You know what I'm saying? So when you having them kind of conversations with younger dudes and you teaching, it's like, did you want to rob the dude or did your man want to rob the dude? Because that kind of plays a big thing of who should get the points. Because not only did he went hard, he pimped you. So he should get some more extra points. You know what I'm trying to say? And because he don't respect you. Like when y'all come back from the move, he not showing love like you went. He's taking all the credit. Why? Because he deserve all the credit. He pimped you. You see what I'm saying? So like, and one of the first steps of, you got to say, nah, I ain't with that. Like, you got to choose you. And that's not like the easiest thing. A lot of time we had generational gaps, whereas though the people that could have taught us, they was either dead or locked up. So sometimes we don't know how to get to the next level. So we get dragged across the bridge by the people who we feel like been making it back and forth, and they not really giving us the truth. They pimping us. They want you to go over there and grab that for them and bring it back. So let's work for them. You see what I'm saying? And I'm kind of against that. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, I'm not going to sit here and say don't rap. I'm just saying that I don't think that what you rapping about is real relevant. About, you know what I mean? I'll give you that, and you can go with you know, good advice, bad advice. I just think that, um, I know I was talking a lot, but I don't.
Now I get it. You making a point. You just pretty much saying make a decision and stick to it. Don't flip flop. Don't go back and forth.
Because we think man time is impressing other men.
Mm-hmm.
That's not man time.
Not at all.
Right.
That's not how it works. Like, because I'm happy with what you did don't mean it's man time. Or because you talking loud don't mean, or because you got a gun, or because you willing to fight. None of that's man time. Man time is taking care of your responsibility. If you look at even any gangster movie, the only part you pay attention to is when they pull the guns out and shooting. And that's what you call them a gangster. You're not looking at the fact that they did all of this to protect their family. They was family oriented. No women, no kids. They didn't disrespect. You couldn't even be a gangster unless you was married. You couldn't even get in the whole organization unless you was a person that was credible or taking care of your family and standing on business. They would go and ask your wife, how's your husband treating you? Y'all ain't seen none of that part. Y'all only seen when they was beefing and shooting. Like, we be missing it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more to the story than, you know, than what we like to pay attention to. And I just be wanting to unfold those folders and pages and get them kind of thoughts out there because, you know, yeah.
Okay.
So one final question on that: if you could do more for the city, what would it be?
To be honest with you, if we could have like big brother programs or like gentlemen clubs. We like to blame the women for not being the kind of women that we like or we would respect, right? But it kind of stopped with us and the things that we like. Like, they wouldn't even do half the stuff that they did or they do if we didn't give the attention to it. And so, training the minds of the young male of how they supposed to move and think would be something that's important. Like, if I could do anything for the city, it would be more of what I'm already doing, and that's encouraging the younger dudes to keep going, giving them that pat on the back, giving them little dope one-on-one conversation instead of always shunning them, telling them like, nah, you could do it, but just do it this way because, you know, and being that, and, you know, showing love, right? Like, we don't have love in this place no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't compliment each other. We don't say good things about. It's like no good. Even with how we treat our women, we don't tell our women we love her. We be like, "What's up, bruh?"
Who do that?
Like your girl.
Me for
like,
sure.
A lot of dudes in this area be like, "What's up, bruh?" Like, I mean, I cool. Y'all got y'all slang and everything, but you really think that you gonna get the softest version of the woman, treating her like, you know, I don't know how that's supposed to work. You feel me? And then get mad when she don't give you the energy that you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it gotta be somebody that is cool enough for you to listen to tell you that you're doing something wrong, so that you don't take it the wrong way. Because when a dude my age is not valid in your world, tell you those things, it's like he don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm trying to say? He ain't. But when you give a dude credit or you give him some value and he say the thing, then it's like, damn, OG be talking that you know what I'm saying? So we gotta, dudes my age gotta pick up and keep chasing their dreams so that we could be worth listening to. So if anything I would do for this community, I would have programs to retrain the minds of the young dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And not telling them what to do, but just giving them something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because all, all women ain't the same, all dudes ain't the same.
Right.
You feel me? How to choose a better friend. You know what I mean? How to love yourself. Then sometimes, a lot of times, they be having problems at their own homes and stuff like that. And a lot of these like negative like behaviors, we be thinking that they just want to walk around and act like a gangster, but for real, they be hurt. And as a person that been in that seat, and I know how it feels sitting in that seat, it's not the easiest thing to tell somebody that you hurt. It's more easier to act out on it and hurt someone else because you get the cool points of being something that you really ain't choosing to be. It's just this is the way that you're expressing yourself. And then a lot of times, man, sometimes niggas just need a hug in real life. Like you don't even know, like a hug could make a whole beef go away. Like somebody might spare somebody's life with the right conversation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, and I really, man, experienced like being around young dudes and really saying like they not as bad as dudes my age like to pretend you are. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of the times that they act that way is just more even not knowing how to express themselves or feeling like when they express themselves it's a form of being soft or weak. And when you teach that, nah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? See, like my thing is, you can even cry around me, bro. I ain't gonna lie, just don't do it a lot.
Nah, I feel you on
You
that.
know what
I
I'm saying?
feel you.
Go ahead and get it off your chest
There's
one
still
time,
work to
bro.
do.
Because you do it too much. That ain't what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about leaning on me like that movie. I'm saying maybe get it off your chest so you don't express them tears in a physical way. I
Yeah.
get it, but at the end of the day, I'm still for men need to be men. Like, you feel me? I'm not with the super soft stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's needed. You know what I mean? And so I would, if going back to the question, if I could do anything for the city, that would be what it would. It would be programs like that. Because y'all got the charisma, y'all got the ambition, y'all got the hustle, y'all got the knowledge. Just sometimes the young dudes be a little too emotional, and they act off their emotion. There's nothing worse than an emotional man that don't know how to control himself.
That's a fact.
Because emotions is something that it becomes physical. You get to wilding out. You a big old man. It's kind of hard to stop you if you get mad. If a woman get mad, you can give her a hug, calm her down. Bruh, you're a whole man. If you get angry, we gonna feel it. And when you walking around moving like that, you know what I'm saying, you make people nervous.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? We don't know, because emotions like fire, it destroys things if it's not contained properly. You feel what I'm saying? So being able to learn how to control your emotions and put things like, and it's things that older dudes can teach you. A lot of dudes been to prison. They can teach you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men don't become men till they go to prison. Because it take a man to make you a man. Like, one of the scenarios I like to give is like, you can't say you're a man just because you're 18. That's not how it works. Like so what you telling me is basically you're a man at 18, all right, cool. So when you was 17, you wasn't a man, right? But at 12 o'clock tonight, when you turn 18, you turn a man just like that? What did you do different today that you did yesterday that makes you a man today? And if that's not how you become a man, then you can also be 30, 40 years old and still not a man, because it's not a line that you cross. It's a thing. In the same way, like if you in a gang, just because you wear blue don't make you a Crip.
Right.
But the Crips can identify other Crips. They bring you home. They know their format. So like men teach younger men how to be men. And it's not until a woman can't say you a man. Right. You don't get no points for that. Right. If you're a man, another man gotta say you a man. Right. A man that everybody can identify is a man. Say, oh, he's a man. He's a gentleman. You can't call yourself a man and get the respect of a man, because that's not how it works.
Yeah, I say that literally all the time. Like
that don't make you a man because you call yourself a man.
I always say that people just getting bigger, they're not really growing up.
Facts.
Right.
Facts. Like a man is one who is responsible, and he looks for responsibility. What make you a bigger, stronger man is you take on more responsibility. You feel what I'm saying? Like you and if you're not doing that, then what is your girl take care of you?
And I'm glad you actually said that, because I was going to ask, like, what's your definition of a man? Because me, I think that there is no set definition of a man. It's just the actions that you do that make you a man.
Yeah, that's what I believe. I think becoming responsible for your actions and others makes you a man.
Right.
Like, if you're not feeding yourself, paying your own rent, and being able to do enough to where you can help some people around you based off of your hard work, then you're a male. You know what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't call every female a woman.
Yeah.
As when we men, like, would you call a woman that is shaking her butt in the strip club? She not a lady.
Yeah, no, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's old enough to do all the adult things, and but as men, when we in our circles, let's keep it real. When we in the barbershop, when we in different places where it's just us, they don't get that kind of respect from us. So why
100%.
should we get that kind of respect from them?
Yeah. No, I was
not doing what men supposed to do. Like, what do you like? Listen, I respect the 50-50 thing. I respect it, but I think that it's a time and a place for it. I don't think that should be the norm.
Yeah.
Like, if you can pay for everything, I think it's your job. If you calling yourself a man to do that, and then sometime when you down on your luck and shit, and you got a good woman you've been investing with, then she can pay for some shit too. But that shouldn't be like the criteria, is what I'm saying. Like, because she's not sharing in the responsibilities of what she's bringing to the table, but you want her to share in your responsibility and keep the title of the job that you calling yourself. That's weird to me. And in my generation, we understood that. Right. And so it's stuff like that, right, that I think that, again, if I had a chance to talk to people in the community, that I would express that way of thinking. Because it's a different feeling when you are acting and you moving like a man versus just saying it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's different. It's different. And a lot of women, shout out to the women, because they doing their best. They raise their sons in a certain kind of way, and their sons kind of be like how we would all do with our mother, be real, like, lean on her, right? And without having a male presence to balance it out, then every woman that we be with, we lean on her the same way, and we expect her to do the things that our mother's done without the balance of the man telling, like, nah, bro, you don't get no love for that, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in my generation, you didn't get credit for wearing Jordans. You got credit when you and your girl had the Jordans on. Now you somebody. You got the big body bands, but she got to have the girl bands. Cause, like, you don't get the credit. You supposed to make sure you good. You know what I'm saying? But the points come in when your son, your daughter got the J's on too. You feel what I'm talking about? Like, the responsibility. That's when the men sit in, and when we would brag in our circles, we wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, man, I paid $20,000 for this." And like, man, I paid $50. I got the his and the her joint. Shawty ain't going nowhere. You feel what I'm trying to say? Them was like how men talk. These days is I, and then I give you some change, whatever left, shawty. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, like that. So, yeah, I don't even know what the question is.
Nah, you definitely answered it. You was just dropping so much game. We didn't wanna stop you. You definitely spitting though. It's one of them ones where you dropping some real gems though. Jumping back over to the movie.
All right, cool.
There's been a lot of controversy about the whole Nike boots. You've been going off talking about the white ones on your platform.
Oh yeah.
I do want to know, is there any controversy at all about New Balances? Anybody else claiming it? Is that like a DC stamp shoe or what?
All right, so if you
turn the mic in towards you a little bit too.
Yeah, because I need everybody to hear this. Like, I need this stamp.
there is nobody from DC believes that it came from anywhere else. We don't even argue with other people. It's like, you know how like if a lion was laying on the ground and a little fly was bumping them, the line wouldn't even pay no
Wouldn't
attention
move.
to it. It don't even know that. It's like it ain't giving it no attention. That's how we feel about when people say they started the New Balance, right? All right, so with New Balance started in the 80s. Okay, New Balance was all over this, the world, but we made it fly. And one proof of that is it's a pair of New Balance, they 992s that New Balance put the DC flag on as paying homage of who it started. I never seen the Baltimore flag on it. I never seen the Philly flag on it. I never seen the New York apple on them, but I ain't make them. They not customs. They
Right.
official joints, right? All right, and then the thing about fashion, right? The fashion is not something that just stops. It continues. So before the New Balance, it was the Timberlands. This is what the New Yorkers hate. They hate this one. But we started the Timberlands down here.
For real.
That's how it really started. Let's backtrack it. Let's do some math. Let's do some history, right? In the 80s, you had the New Yorkers coming down here. Wasn't no DC people going to New York. They was hanging down here.
You got
So
a
if
point.
style came from anywhere, it came from here and it went other places. We didn't go up there and then bring it back. We wasn't going up there, right? That kind of makes sense. All right, cool. What made it big in New York, you had Jay-Z, Puffy, and Biggie. To say the least, they was down here. They was down here, hanging down here. This before they icons. This be they regular rappers, right? But they live in New York. And so when they shooting these videos and they do all these big, and the world getting to know them, they looking at them and they seeing them with these, however they dress, and they giving them the credit for it, right? But when it all boils down to the New Yorkers, when they was coming down here, it was like the crack era. And if New Yorkers wasn't really trying to look like New Yorkers down there, they was blending in with us, because if you looked like a New Yorkers, you was going to get killed. And I'm not trying to bring up bad blood on them, but this the history of D.C. So more likely, when they came down here, they were looking like us so they wouldn't stand out.
Right.
So that means if y'all was the one who started Timberlands, we'd have been like, oh, they got Timberlands on them, the New Yorkers. Nah. And then see, down here, we was down here worn. So we wasn't really doing like it in a fashion statement. You know what I'm saying? It was like wearing army pants and things and that with the Timberland. So we weren't like actually doing it for style, like from far as that, but it became something. Then the New Balance. Then later on the foams. Then later on the New Balance. The Nike boots. You see, fashion keeps going. And then y'all or the generation after y'all gonna make something else popular. All right, cool.
Asics.
If New York was wearing Timberlands, why in the movie Paid in Full didn't nobody have Timberlands on?
That's literally what I was going to say, too. And
don't even
Cameron
remember.
said...
They only had Air Force Ones on. It's only 2 scenes when they had Timberlands on. The one scene with the police who was from D.C., when he was like, let me talk to you, he had Timberlands on. And Cameron had Timberlands on. But the problem with that's when he was talking to Widjacon. He was like, man, look, we got to go down D.C.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Yeah.
Them was the only 2 scenes.
Yeah.
That mean he was coming back from D.C., so he had the butters on. He was looking like us, right? And that's in y'all movie. Now, when we talk about New Balance, you have like 5 or 6 seasons of The Wire in Baltimore, right? We ain't see nobody in the whole Wire wear New Balance but one person.
Big G.
And that's Big G. He from D.C.
Yeah.
They didn't have no. Listen. If they have a episode show like that, especially a big any here, everybody they didn't have wardrobes. They weren't saying wear these shoes. No, everybody was wearing their regular clothes, their real clothes. It wasn't one of those kind of joints where everybody got to change their clothes before the camera come on. No, bring your clothes up here and whatever you're wearing. So that's just like saying if we did a Wire like down here in D.C. every shoe you gonna see almost gonna be a New Balance. You might see some other stuff, but you gonna see a whole rack of New Balance. How y'all say it come from there? But I don't nobody even got New Balance in the hottest show on TV.
Right.
It don't make sense. How the biggest movie that depicted the 80s, y'all wasn't wearing Timberlands, man. That's just what it is. I know it's a hot. And then, all right, cool. If you want to say Timberland, like I say, fashion takes place over and over and over and over. It went from this to like we gonna make this fly to we gonna make that fly to that fly. It keeps going, right? Okay, what's the next shoe that New Yorkers made fly after Timberlands?
You got me.
Yeah,
Because
that's a great question.
y'all ain't do the first one. Y'all took that same shoe and just made it in more and more colors. That's it.
I don't know.
And
Like,
different souls.
New Yorkers, Baltimore,
A different
somebody, y'all
stylist.
comment.
But what I'm saying is, right, if y'all so fly like that, right, what's the next joint that made the world go crazy about y'all?
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all wore the Aerorexes and stuff like that. We'll give you credit for all that, but I'm going to keep it real. Y'all didn't start the Timberlands. And I'm going to say, I ain't the only one feel like that. Like I say, dudes wasn't going to New York. Down here was Chocolate City. You had all the culture taking place down here. Mm-hmm. This was the place to be. Even in New York, it's not all black people. You got Spanish, you got Dominicans. It's not like a chocolate thing. It's a mixing bowl. Down here is all straight black people at that time. So it's all just straight us trying to be creative and come up with different kind of ways. And then I posted this on when DJ Envy was talking to Wale up on Breakfast Club. He's like, didn't y'all start Timberland? And Wale said, hey, y'all giving us that credit? He from New York. They know. Right. They know. Like the older dudes know. You know what I'm saying? You only really see the younger dudes fighting that battle because like they trying to hold on to, like, you know, they really feel they way about them 10.
They little glory.
Where them joints gonna move for real? And, you know, prime example, like with Go-Go, right? If we don't stand up and fight for the stuff that's you know, you got places like North Carolina and different places that's doing Go-Go. If you give it 10 years and we don't be claiming that Go-Go came from here, it's going to be people that's sitting somewhere talking about, nah, we the one started Go-Go. You're going to be like,
That's going to be a tough one to say.
It's not.
That's tough.
You know why it's not going to be tough? Because there's so many people that's growing up now don't listen to Go-Go. They not going to know no better.
Right.
And it's going to be easy to persuade them because you be like, I've been in D. You're going to hear people like this say, I've been in D.C. my whole life. I never heard Go-Go. So when we say it started from here, it's going to be kind of hard to prove it to the people that even live here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially how they gentrifying too. So,
Fact.
yeah.
So it's like, man, that's why I'm a big advocate of standing on, like, you know, going back. And I'm like, come on, you know, like Jim Jones and them, like, you know, shout out Jim Jones. You know, he a real cool dude. But and he's one of the few people. I mean, he's one of the people that really stand up for New York. But y'all know, come on, stop playing.
Mm-hmm. You broke that down like an expert.
Exactly. So is that how the origin of the New Balance Boys started? Is that because you know like all this information, like you knew that we started New Balances and stuff like that?
I feel like this is my way of putting a time capsule on New Balance. Like this how much we feel about New Balance. Like, so if y'all feel better or stronger about do something better than what we doing about it. Like we really do this. Like we, you know what I'm saying? We created, I'm about to take you there. We created a lot of stuff, just like the no Diddy phrase. I started that, literally.
You did not
Literally
start that.
you.
did not start no Diddy.
I want to hear the story.
You got to tell me.
I bet. So listen, right? You can go to my Instagram and I'll show y'all afterwards. So what happened was, because me and the dude Quilly was going back and forth of, you know, all right, so boom, let me backtrack this because I'm on podcast, so I gotta get my story out.
Yeah.
All right, so like if you feel like you started No Diddy, then it gotta come with a story. You can't just say I was just sitting here one day and I said No Diddy. That ain't how creativeness work. Entertainers, tell us exactly how it came about. Right?
Oh, I'm listening to this one.
So I'm a clown when I'm around my crew. I'll be around all younger dudes than me. So we, P Diddy going through what he going through, right? So I'm sitting there dancing. I can't dance, but I'm doing a little Harlem Shake joint, and I'm singing the Uncle Murder joint. When he said, "Did he do it? Did he do it? Did he did it? Did he do it?" Remember, y'all heard that joint? So I'm saying that, and in the process of why I'm saying that, somebody said something wild, and I'm like, we always be like, no homo at that point, right? Everybody was saying pause, but we was still saying no homo, right? So I'm saying, did he do it? Did he do it? And then somebody said something wild. I'm older, so my brain don't be moving as fast as I would like it to sometimes. So while I'm sitting there dancing, doing a little Harlem Shake, talking about how Diddy be in the parties, right? Singing the Uncle Murder song, I'm like, did he do it? Did he do it? And then he say something wild. I'm not gonna say his name. He say something wild. So I was about to say no homo, but I end up saying no Diddy. Cause I was singing a Diddy song and I was like, no Diddy. So I was like, oh snap, that's what we about to say. I went straight to the internet. I said, look, y'all, I'm gonna show you the post. I said, look, y'all, we not saying no Diddy no more. I mean, we not saying no homo no more. We gonna just start saying no Diddy, cause Diddy on some wild shit, right? The dude Quilly follow a lot of dudes from 37. So and you can go and you can see that he follow. So then, boom, we going back and forth, and this and that and the other, you know what I'm saying? He got on Academics show. He's a rapper. He got on Academics, and he said no Diddy. So everybody heard him say it on a big platform first. But that don't, and they was like, well, we heard him say it. I was like, there's nothing wrong with him saying. He didn't say he started it. He didn't say he started it for a minute. And then if you said you started it, how it happened? Tell me how you made it up.
Academics claimed it. DJ Academics.
No, he was on the show with Academics doing an interview. They was talking about Meek Mills, this, that, and the other, because you know Academics be hating on Meek Mills and stuff like that.
Okay.
So then he was like, he said something, then he said no Diddy. And so on that show, because he said no Diddy, it took off. So then boom, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, man, you know, they I'm gonna give you the whole ranks when I leave here. I'm gonna send you all the joints, right? I'm gonna send you all the joints back to back to back. So I was like, at first I was like, man, it's just words. It don't mean nothing. But then it started taking off. It started taking off. Hold on. It started taking off. So I started getting a little upset that, okay, because I was in my family like, damn, he just stole my joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I seen that he tried to go get it copywritten. So I'm like, oh, nah. Because I got proof I started because I put it on the internet first before you even went up there. So I'm like, I went to go get it copywritten too. Then kind of find out neither one of us couldn't get it copywritten because you can't get something copywritten that using somebody's name.
Okay.
So then I went on the internet after that. I was like, well, I guess we can't get a copyright. Back to the drawing board. Say, I got more creativeness with me. You stole. So we back to the drawing board. I'm going back to doing my movies. You can go back to your little rap thing. But I never say his name, but anybody know we was going back and forth. And I'm going to send you the joints. Because outside of that being the truth, then that means I was talking to myself in all those videos.
Right.
And that's not the truth.
Okay.
Okay.
Nah, you sound passionate about it. I'm gonna look at these clips.
He stole from me.
All right.
All right. So now we know New Balances came from DC, Timberlands came from
Tim's.
DC, and no Diddy.
And
Stan.
We creative here.
and Glizzy, that's another
Glizzy,
one.
yeah.
They listen, right? The United States run the world.
Mm-hmm.
The United States run the whole world.
Right.
Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So everything we do is way more popular just because of the area we in than anywhere. People, like, listen, if you put D.C. in anything, your YouTube thing go high and everything, people all over the world want to know what we doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you put a city somewhere, that's cool. We want to know what's going on in Chicago because we here. But people outside of the world don't care about no Chicago, D.C., New York, like the big places.
Yeah.
And D.C. is where the laws get made. This is like the joint, the White House here. So it's like bigger politics, and I will find it for y'all.
Yeah, show it to us afterwards.
Definitely.
I promise.
And that's a fact. When I first started traveling, I was telling people I was from Maryland, and I just kept getting all these questions about what that is. So I just started saying DC, and I got no questions.
Facts.
So now I just go with that.
Facts.
'Cause it's much easier.
Facts.
All right, last question I have for you. I heard on another podcast you had said we don't need anything outside of the DMV.
Facts.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like if we stick together and we work together and we be okay, like in the Jewish community, they make $1 and they spend it with each other. It goes around within that community 7 times before it leaves out the community. And these are some of the smaller the Jews is like maybe if not the smallest, one of the smallest groups of people on the whole earth, right? They so small they ain't even have their own land. They taking land. They taking it. They don't even got a spot that they can call home. That's how small they are. They like refugees, but they run the world. Why? Because they stick together. Now, if we take that same recipe and just use it slightly, where I'm going to do, if I got a podcast with this guy in another state and you got a podcast, your name might not be as big as his, but if my name big enough, then it's gonna carry enough weight that's gonna get you more views. If I actually literally can see that versus going all the way out there to that and saying, you know, F what the people that's right here doing, you see how you know, if we stick together, we don't really, you know how many people live in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area?
A lot.
It's more than a lot. It's, you know, so if we stick together, who else do we really need? And then if we stick together, it's gonna kind of like volcano into the neighboring areas. The same way that people try to steal our style with the New Balance, it's gonna do the same thing with the podcast, the movies, and everything else. Because we the creators of that, and the way that we created New Balance and made it popular, that what makes it culture to us, because how we made it popular is embedded in us. Like the way that we made New Balance popular is who you are as a person, not just the shoes. What made us stick together and band together, because these was called father shoes and old man shoes and
dad shoes.
Dad shoes, right? We didn't care what they called them, and we wore them, and we seen the fashion in them, and we stuck together. It was a point where there was no other color but gray. It was just gray. The only other color was like the 574s. That was blue. If okay, cool. If y'all start a New Balance, fun New Balance fact, right? You know how when you in school, you got people who play on who got the best clothes on, and it basically by who got the more expensive clothes. So New Balance, the way that you knew how much the New Balance cost was based the number on the shoe at one point. So the 1300s, they was $130. The 1500s was $150. The 2000s was $200. The 574s was $57. Them was like the kind joints you know, they it was nice, but you ain't really want those ones.
Right,
Just some school shoes.
You feel me? You wanted the 996s. The 99, they was $99. You see what I'm saying? So like, I ain't never heard nobody nowhere else break that down. Cause y'all weren't wearing them. Like, listen, and to Baltimore credit, they close enough to us to borrow some of our styles. But when you look at pictures in the 80s, you'll see 20 people in a picture, 18 of them got on New Balance. You're not gonna see nothing like that in other states. So because you got a picture with a pair of New Balance, don't mean that we saying y'all didn't never wear them. I'm just saying y'all didn't wear them from the aspect that y'all could claim that y'all are the originators of what made it popular.
Yeah, you make them stylish.
Y'all didn't. Y'all wasn't deep enough. Like if they was stylish, more y'all would have worn.
Right.
Like it would have been something that everybody had to have. You might have had family in DC, and you going back and forth. It's only 15, 20 minutes away. You know, you could have been in one of the counties. You going back and forth, so you getting a little merge of this and that, and you like, man, them joints y'all like, but you wasn't fly enough to take them back to Baltimore, and then Philly. The reason why Philly started wearing New Balance is because they got DOC. A DOC, that's a Department of Correction. It's a federal joint, right? And in the feds, only tennis shoes you can have is white or gray. New Balance is gray. So it's a popular shoe in the feds. But we was wearing them before they had federal penitentiaries. When everybody was going to Lorton and they had prisons, like regular prison, with no federal joints, all like that, right? We was wearing them. So they got the DOC in Philly. So as soon as the dudes get out, they come straight out of jail and be walked back home, and they got the New Balance on that they, you know, and everybody know we living in a time where crime is cool, jail is cool. So whatever they wearing in jail, we want to wear. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or even like, you know, they used to say pants sagging started in jail because you couldn't have a belt.
Right.
So that's why we sag our pants. The criminal always was like the popular one in our community. So yeah, shout out to 50, but yeah, they ain't do it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have for you today. Anything you want to leave off at the end? Want to talk about your movie coming out soon?
Man, I really want everybody to see this podcast to go and tap into the New Balance Boys. The New Balance Boys, like my first movie that went on Tubi, Kings of DC. Kings of DC was just not about like drug dealers in DC and stuff. I took all the kings that was in DC and we worked together. So that's what that movie meant to me when I say Kings of DC, right? And so something similar to with this is not like just the tennis shoe movie. I just feel like it's a time where we have to start recognizing that we are and what we're doing is creating a new balance in this place. It's not just about the shoe. It's more like a lifestyle and a way of life. You feel what I'm saying? Like we're gonna take it and make that name mean more than just a fly hip hop shoe. But we took something that wasn't popular and made it popular. We can, and with that being said, we have the power to make anything better and credible, and make the world love what we doing if we believe in ourselves enough. That's what that shoe should teach us, that it's bigger than that shoe. The mindset that it took to make that shoe popular, we still got that mindset, and we can use it in other kind of ways. New Balance Boys.
Hey, New Balance, get that man a sponsor.
Please, can you please?